You ever have one of those brilliant ideas for a website? A real game changer? And then you look into the cost, you see the timeline, and, well, the whole thing just fizzles out. Today, we're going to talk about how that's all changing. Seriously, we're talking about going from a $10,000 multi-week headache to a beautiful, functional website built in minutes just by talking. Let's dive in.
So first, let's just quickly touch on the pain point, because the traditional way of getting a website built, oh man, it is often a huge, huge obstacle for any small business, for any creator, really for anyone with an idea. You know the drill, right? You realize you need a real web presence. So you start looking around, and your options are pretty much always the same. Hire a big, expensive agency, try to find a freelancer you can trust, or maybe try to duct tape something together yourself. And every single one of those paths has its own set of headaches, especially for your bank account.
And this chart, wow, it really puts it all into perspective, doesn't it? I mean, look at that first bar. A traditional agency can easily set you back $10,000. Even a freelancer, that middle option, is a huge investment. This is that financial wall so many great ideas just smash into and never recover from.
And it's not even just about the money, it's the time. The old way is this multi-week saga of meetings and briefings, then you wait, then you get a first draft, and then begins the endless, frustrating cycle of revisions. And heaven forbid you need an update 6 months down the road, well, you get to pay up and wait all over again. It's just slow, it's inefficient, and honestly, it's a total momentum killer.
But what if there was a totally different way to do this? Let's get into the technology that is flipping this entire equation on its head, turning weeks of painful work into just a few minutes of conversation. Okay, so this is the absolute key difference you need to understand. A traditional AI, think something like ChatGPT, it's kind of like a consultant. It gives you a plan, it tells you what to do. But an agent AI, that's what you see on the right, that's like an employee. It actually does the work for you. It takes your instructions and literally clicks the buttons, types the words, and builds the website. So yeah, think of it like a digital employee who's on call 24/7. What's happening under the hood is the AI is controlling a web browser, and it's taking your simple, plain English commands and turning them into a whole series of complex actions. This is the core tech that makes everything we're about to show you possible.
All right, now for the fun part. Let's actually walk through step by step how you can build a professional looking website using nothing more than your voice and one of these new agent AIs.
And as you can see here, the process is ridiculously simple. It's just 5 steps. 1, create an account. 2, you pick the build website feature. 3, and this is where the magic happens, you just talk to it. You hit the little microphone icon and tell it what you want. 4, it builds a version 1, and you just give it feedback, again, with your voice. And finally, step 5, you connect your domain and you're live. The entire workflow is just a conversation. And this is a perfect example of what that first prompt sounds like. Notice, it's not code. It's not complicated jargon. It's just a normal sentence. Build me a website for my landscaping business. I need these pages, make it look modern and clean. You're just describing what you want, just like you would to a person. But the response time is almost instant. And as soon as you give that command, you can literally sit back and watch it work. It opens the browser, it starts writing the code, it builds out every single page. It even adds some pretty good starter text for you, all in real time. It's not just making a plan, it is executing right there in front of your eyes. And the revision process? Just as easy. All those painful back and forth emails are just gone. They're replaced with another simple voice command. You can give it subjective feedback like you see here, make it feel more minimalistic. Or you can give it a direct order, make that button bigger. And the AI just does it. So, what's the real-world impact of all this? Let's zoom out and really break down the payoff. Let's compare the old way to this new AI-powered way. This table pretty much says it all. I mean, it's just black and white. Look at the time row. What used to take weeks or even a month now takes less than 20 minutes. Now look at cost. We're going from thousands and thousands of dollars to a simple monthly subscription. In effort, we go from a high-stress, high-involvement project to a simple conversation. The difference is just, it's night and day. So let's put a hard number on that. When you do the math on a typical $10,000 website project, you're looking at saving $9,961. This is not just a little bit better. It is a fundamental shift in how this stuff gets made. This whole shift from needing to know complex code to just being able to describe an idea, it represents a massive, massive change. It's not just about building websites faster, it's about who gets to build them now. And that right there, that's the ultimate takeaway. The two biggest walls that have always stood in the way, the wall of code and the wall of cost, they've basically been torn down. The main thing standing between your idea and a live website is just your ability to clearly explain your vision. And that brings us to the final and I think the most important question. When those technical and financial barriers to creation completely vanish, what becomes possible? I mean, really think about it. If you could build anything at all, just by describing it, what would you create?